Hey guys, Nick from Hidden Harbour Services, just here to go through a couple of handy apps for you while you're using your boat this coming season. So there's a couple of apps that I use. There's Windy, or the website windy.com. Seabreeze is another good one. The BOM, so the Bureau of Meteorology, and also Navionics, which is a really handy one. It essentially becomes a chart plotter for your device, so your iPhone or an iPad, etc. on board. It's very handy.
So this is the windy.com site, and as mentioned, if nothing more, it's just great to look at because you're seeing the wind patterns. So we can zoom in and drop a pin on a location. So we've got northwest 5 knots, then we can move the map or move the pin to other locations, and it tells us what we've got. And we've got a timeline down the bottom here, and we can see we've got some different colours. So that's your different strengths in breeze. Now, from that other site, being Seabreeze, we knew that there was something coming around Sunday. So if we skip across, now we're seeing the change in conditions. So this is a handy one just to look at if you're planning to go further afield. So if we're now doing a delivery to Sydney, we want to sort of see a timeline of where we expect to be at what point in our trip and what the breeze is doing there. So, you know, minimising the being caught out. So this actually has a function for wind, but then also you've got rain, temperatures, clouds, waves. So it's quite a lot to it. So now we're seeing, as you would expect, the rain's following where that intensity of the breeze is as well. So that's another one for you to have a look through. Okay, so here we have Seabreeze. We're actually on the website, not the app on this. So what we're seeing here is our wind directions and strengths, and then our wave heights relative to that as well, and then a forecast at the top. We've got our temperatures. What I really like about this is we can push on the screen, and as we move our finger, we're seeing at what time the wind's doing what. So it's not textbook, but we can see something is coming. You know, we've got wind strengths of 39 knots from the west-southwest coming at the later part of the weekend. What we mentioned previously was the ability to see the other end of the bay. So we're down Martha Cove way, but now we can see up at Fawkner Beacon. Okay, well, what's going on? Because we're about to, we want to leave to the city and go to the north. This may change that idea, because up there, even though it's a mill pond here, we've got 16 knots from the north, so right on the nose. So not necessarily ideal. And then we can see, obviously, Frankston's a mill pond out the front here, very little breeze. So at a glance, it's very handy to see this because, like I say, the bay is a huge body of water, and this is a great quick reference to see what is in fact happening at the other ends, and then if that's going to become an issue for us. The other tip is obviously tides as well. So again, like with the weather, we can just slide our finger along and we're seeing the turn of the tides, which again is quite nice for the fishermen out there. Okay, and then now we're on the Bureau site, the Bureau of Meteorology, so the BOM site, and here we've got forecasts for the region, and we've got down for us, obviously we're interested in the marine side, so on the marine services. And we can see here if there was warnings, they'd pop up there, but then for forecasts we can just go to Port Phillip, and it's giving us what's happening over the period. It gives us a little bit of a weather situation at the top, explaining what the change is, and then we can see progressively. There is what I mentioned, Metai, so a bit like the Windy site. Now we're seeing our days at the top. We've got our map. Another great one for trip planning, because we can hit play here and we're going to see what's happening breeze wise over the period. So we'll be able to see changes coming. So here we've got the other one coming, which is married up with the other two sites we've just seen. So we know if we're trying to take a boat to Sydney, it's a little bit ugly. We've got 25, 30 knots, and we've got a whole lot of breeze coming through here on the Sunday. So here we've got the Navionics app, and you can see it just gives you all your chart information. So it gives you your depth contours, where you physically are. So there we are down on the Marina. We can plot courses on this, you know, which comes in very handy when you look at the bottom of the bay with all of the nice hazards we've got down there. Another handy feature as well is in our menu we've got weather and tides. So when that pops up, we'll see what the weather's doing, what the tides are doing. So here we go here. So we can see that we've got tide coming in, tide dropping here. So that's quite handy, I guess, for the fishermen out there, but also in sailing terms as well. It's quite handy to know. Then it's got our breeze directions and our strengths. So at a glance, it's quite a handy app. And what we touched on before was those little fishing icons. So I'll see if I can find one. There we go. So if we click on that one, so Rye Rec. So let's just click on that. It's saying fishing or diving hotspot. So there you go. So there'll be little things like that on there throughout the bay. So you might see those as you're traveling, and then you can click on it and it might be a point of interest or obviously a fishing hotspot. The other thing mentioned was you can set up your boat data in there as well. So under settings, boat settings, so now are we a powerboat, sailboat, what's our draft, etc. So then when we're plotting our course, it will take into account what you physically can pass over the top of, and it won't send you in that direction. But again, important not to use this as gospel. You know, it is technology, but you really need to have your own travel plan in place. But this is a very handy go-to overview.
So there you have it, a couple of handy apps for you during your time on board this coming season. We'll see you out on the water or down at Hidden Harbour Marina soon.